Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Just did a post earlier this morning on the numerological connections and Pope Francis's short visit thus far. I want to fill you in on a few more details the media has left with us. They hint for action this Thursday in Philadelphia. I'll show you exactly what I mean. If I had to guess right now, Truth Seeker, I think today will pass without any major incident other than the Pope speaking. I think the day is to come later this week should it happen. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So Pope Francis, he's in this Fiat 500. They're saying this is the marks of the modest, humble man that he is, lives in a small room, lives a humble life. You know, I'd like to think that all that's true because I respect those things. That is the way I live. But I'm pretty sure this Pope Francis is a character actor. I've done the videos showing how he's a Jesuit gangster, the Masonic pose on the train. It's all been covered. Let me show you what's going on here, though. Fiat has a Jewish gematria of 116, like the number 911 upside down. Fiat in simple English gematria sums to 36. That's the year Pope Francis was born in. It's also been 36 years since 1979. That's the year we had the first Catholic Pope visit the United States. Pope John Paul II, who replaced the 33-day Pope who was murdered on the date with 44 numerology, likely poisoned by arsenic. I've done a video showing all the connections between Pope Francis and Pope John Paul I, the 33-day Pope. The word 500 in simple English gematria also sums to 116, like 911 upside down. He's in a Fiat 500. How about that? And then what's extra curious is Fiat 500 has simple English gematria of 152. Earlier this year, this number was coded all over the Andreas Lubitz plane wreck in the Alps, the hoax by the numbers, which I covered well. That happened on the 44th parallel, the kill number. The 33-day Pope died on a date with 44 numerology. With regards to 152, the state Pennsylvania has gematria of 152. That is where Pope Francis will conclude his trip in Philadelphia, the nation's original capital, named after one of 7 churches in Revelation of the Bible. Earlier this year, after the Andreas Lubitz wreck, I talked about this connection to Pennsylvania. And 2 days after making this connection, there was a smaller plane crash in Pennsylvania reported in the media, also by the numbers. So Pennsylvania, 152, a very real connection. Also, Truth Seeker, what's creepy is this year I was able to predict the men's college basketball championship well before it happened. I said Duke would win because of the numbers. Duke Blue Devils has gematria of 152. Duke is in North Carolina, and the Pope, the day before, had a weird thing happen in North Carolina where his plane circled this city 3 times called Tick Bite. Tick Bite. The headline was that because Obama and Biden were late, the Pope had to circle his plane in Tick Bite. But I know that is a bullshit story, and that is not the reason he circled there. The reason he circled there is because his entire trip is by the numbers. Let me show you this, Truth Seeker. Tick has Jewish gematria of 122, just like the name Pope Francis. Pope Francis sums to 122. Earlier this year, there was the Philadelphia train wreck at 9:23 p.m. Train wreck has the gematria of 122, like Pope Francis. That train wreck was at 9:23 p.m., September 23rd, foreshadowing the date that is now today, where the Pope is speaking at the White House in Washington, D.C. for the nation. And in case you missed it, earlier this year there was the shooting of the premiere for the movie Trainwreck. That movie starred LeBron James in his first movie. LeBron James has Jewish gematria of 923. The premiere was shot up by somebody named John Russell Hauser, having simple English gematria of 239. Notice 923 and 23/9 are the two ways to write the date September 23rd. This is that forecasting, this is that coding that we've been seeing all year, and it's still ongoing even while the Pope is here. So tick, gematria of 122 like Pope Francis. Bite, gematria of 116, 116, 911 upside down again, also 36. We just talked about how these numbers connect to Pope Francis, born in 36, 36 years since the first Pope visited the United States in 79. And look, tick bite has simple English gematria of 79, just like the word murder. Let me show you the word murder in gematria, Truth Seeker. Murder sums to 79, and in English gematria, it sums to 474. 474 is interesting because Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope. The Jesuit order is currently 474 years old. It will turn 475 this coming Sunday, the date Pope Francis leaves. Again, Jesuit has gematria of 84. Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, has a life number of 84. He leaves on a Sunday, the only day of the week that has gematria of 84. He's visiting with Obama, who has two 84 connections of his own, his last name in Jewish gematria, and his birthday August 4th. He is the President of the United States of America, which has gematria of 84. If you read the book 1984, it's a lot like the United States, the nation that the story is about, a story written after World War II. That book begins on the date of April 4th, 4-4, the kill number. Obama's the 44th president. Tick-Bite, the town that the plane circled 3 times over, has interesting coordinates. It's on the 35th parallel. Remember, Catholic has gematria of 35. JFK, the only Catholic president, was the 35th president. And also the 77th meridian, known as the American meridian. Judaism has gematria of 77. Washington, D.C. cuts through the 77th meridian. On 9/11, Flight 77 hit the 77-foot-tall Pentagon on the 77th meridian. This happened on the date of the eve of Yom Kippur, the most important Jewish holy day. And in case you missed my last post, Pope Francis arrived at the White House lawn at 9:23 a.m. this morning on September 23rd, the date that's been forecast so well throughout the year. Train wreck at 9:23 p.m. Yesterday, he debuted off the plane at 4:04, dropped the 4, you have 44, the kill number. Pope Francis in Jewish gematria, 4:04, the chosen one, 4:04, 4 past 4 has a connection to 9:23. All this stuff is by the numbers, Truth Seeker. For all of you who mock the work I'm doing and say, see, you weren't right about this, you weren't right about that, you guys are missing the point. I am showing that we live in a rigged world by the numbers, run by Freemasons, run by Jesuits. All the proof is right here. Just because a prediction doesn't land doesn't mean everything I'm saying is incorrect. This is where intelligence comes in, something that so many people lack. Jesuit orders blamed for the death of Lincoln, who died 4/15/65, a date with 84 numerology, connected to this Jesuit order, a history of killing. And just think about tick bite without the numbers. Ticks are something that can kill people. Lyme's disease. It's all a joke, Truth Seeker. If you're new to my channel, go back and watch how I predicted the men's championship right. Coach K, the coach of the Duke Blue Devils in North Carolina. Coach K is born on the 44th day, the date of Lupercalia, which has gematria of 44. All of this stuff is a connected web. There's a reason that he circled in North Carolina. If you go back to my original blog, the very first post I made, I talked about what the point of my research was, what I was trying to do to stop the next 9/11, to stop the next major hoax. In that post, I said the Carolinas will very much be connected to the next 9/11 based on my research. Here you got Pope Francis circling overhead, all these numbers connected. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? I have amazed myself with this research. I had no idea what I was opening up when I started this. But I'm glad I opened it up because what I have brought into the world I know is very important. No matter what happens this week, this research is now with us, and this research is going to continue to be fruitful into the foreseeable future. So all eyes on Philadelphia, September 27th. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.